Interested in learning about wine, but not sure where to start? You're in the right place. Welcome to the Cork Fizz Guide to Wine podcast. I'm your host, Hailey Bowman, and I'm so glad you're here. I'm a wine enthusiast turned wine educator and founder of the Seattle-based wine tasting business, Cork Fizz. It is my goal to build your confidence in wine by making it approachable and lots of fun. You can expect to learn everything from how to describe your favorite wine to what to pair with dinner tonight, and so much more. Whether you're a casual wine sipper or a total cork dork like myself, this podcast is for you. So grab yourself a glass and let's dive in. Welcome back to the Cork Fizz Guide to Wine podcast. Today's episode is one I look forward to every year. It is so fun. I'm going to be going through my holiday gift guide. Now, if you're anything like my family, this podcast might be coming out a little late. My family starts holiday shopping in like October. I swear to you, that is what happens. But if you're anything like my husband's family, this is perfect timing. You don't start shopping until like mid-December. That's like the best time to go shopping. So I tried to balance out when this was coming out. And of course, so many of these things are also wonderful things to treat yourself to should you come into any holiday cash or gift cards, right? So I love doing this episode every year because it's a great opportunity to get to highlight so many of my favorite small businesses and wineries and places that I've gotten to work with all year, and now I get to share them with you. So here's the plan. I don't have any notes for this podcast. That's kind of crazy for me. I usually have like a nice little outline. Instead, I'm going to kind of just like run through my gift guide. I have it up on my screen, and so I'm just going to walk through some of these. Now, let it be known, there are like 90 items in this gift guide. So I will not be talking about every single item. That does not mean I don't love that item. Every one of these items in the gift guide, I myself would love to receive as a gift if I don't have it already. And I know so many wine lovers would love these gifts. So not shouting something out doesn't mean that I don't think it's an amazing gift. It's simply because this podcast episode can't be like 2 hours long. I know you're not listening to that, and I'm surely not talking for that long. So I'm going to just kind of like pull out some highlights. You know, I got to talk about the Cork Fizz stuff because come on. And then I'm also going to be highlighting some of my favorites if I have fun stories. But of course, all this to say, please go download the gift guide if you haven't already. I'm going to put a link in the show notes. You can also go to corkandfizz.com/holiday gift guide, and you can download it there. It will have all the items plus all of the special discounts that I'm going to tell you about. I have probably at this point 20 plus discount codes in this gift guide, especially just for you. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, the gift guide is broken down into different sections because 90 items is a lot. So we're going to do the same thing here with the podcast. So we're going to start out with the first section, which is subscriptions. Now, one of my favorite things to gift around the holidays are subscriptions because basically it's a gift that keeps on giving. You don't just get it once. A lot of times you get it multiple times throughout the year. So I wanted to highlight some different styles of subscriptions related to the wine world. So of course, starting out, we got to do a little highlight for the Cork Crew, my tasting club. I actually have options where you can buy a voucher for somebody to come join the Cork Crew. So you don't have to worry about putting your credit card like in the membership section. That's the thing I always worry about when I give subscriptions is like, is my credit card in the membership spot? So like forever I have to pay for this. But you could actually buy like 3 months, 6 months, and a 1-year subscription for somebody via a voucher. So then that way you can give that to them, and then they can choose to continue after the time that you have gifted them. And remember, the Cork Crew is a tasting club. It's an opportunity to learn more about wine, but the folks are not required to purchase wine directly from me. They can buy wine near where they live, or they can buy from the box. But this is just a fun, different way for them to learn about wine and get to hang out with a cool community of wine lovers. Just a quick reminder, if you are not on my mailing list yet, what are you waiting for? I would love for you to join. When you do, you'll get a free shopping guide that has 15 of my favorite wines under $15. Head to corkandfizz.com, scroll down to the bottom, and there'll be a little section where you can join the mailing list. I send out a weekly newsletter filled with wine tips, recommendations, special offers, and so much more. Now, let's get back to the show. Now, beyond that, I highlight some of my favorite wine clubs. So I included the Grand Tour. This is one is based in New York. I was subscribed to this a few years back, and I probably did it for about a year. Really loved it. They organize their subscriptions by different wine regions throughout the world. So like each month when you get your box, it's like visiting a new wine region, which I think is pretty cool. I also talk about one of my favorites here that is local in Seattle. It's called Crunchy Red Fruit. It was started by Sommelier Jackson, and he now is owner of Fruit Wine Co. I'm saying that right, yes? Yes, I think so. Fruit Wine Co. in Bellevue, but he still does this subscription. And I'm telling you, when like some of my favorite wines have come from this subscription, he's always finding something unique. Like you're not going to find the bottles that he puts in his subscription like anywhere else besides maybe his shop. But even then, like he sometimes gets bottles specifically for the subscription because it's just so special to him. I also highlight a really fun, unique subscription, which is a way to get better at blind tasting. So if you've been curious and want to kind of quiz yourself on blind tasting, and the best way to get better at blind tasting is just to practice, there's a subscription called Master the World. And the cool thing is they send you 6 small bottles of wine, just like single serving, and they cover the labels on these bottles. And then they have this whole online thing where you follow the blind tasting process, and then you make a guess by the end, and then you can just go ahead and take those labels off and learn how you did. It's a really fun thing. There's honestly enough wine in there where you could like split this with somebody else, like you and your partner, you and your roommate, another friend that's wanting to get into wine, and could be a really, really fun thing. You can buy just like a single kit, or you can do that subscription where you get like a monthly kit each month and could be like a fun little date night or get together with friends to do. Okay, moving on to the next section, let's talk about books. Now, I'm obsessed with wine books. I will admit it. I have many, many a wine book. I even have some wine books that I still haven't read yet because I just keep buying them and running out of time. But that's just such a cool there's so many amazing books, whether it comes from like reference books, coffee table books, novels, kind of like, I don't know, like just some of these like more travel style books. They're all so cool. And it's such a fun way to learn. I mean, this is how I learned about wine at first. Like I just went to the library and checked out all of these wine books. And then I ended up like buying all of them because they were so cool. But this is probably my biggest section. I think I have I have like 20 books that I highlight. And it's just because they're so freaking cool. So let me call out some of my favorites. And I've also noted, so you'll notice in the gift guide, anything that's new from last year, I put a little like new, what do I want to say? Like a little star bubble thing. Just so you can see, like, if you did look at last year's guide, you'll be able to quickly see what is new this year. So let's talk about some of the ones that are new this year. I highlighted, oh, this is a cool book. It's called Wine Trails. It is by Lonely Planet, and they've written a lot of these, but they have one that is specifically detailed itineraries across 52 different wine regions around the world. And they have 2 versions of this. Both of them are great. I have both of them. But it's just a fun way, even if like you're not planning a trip, it's kind of a cool way to like learn about each region and learn about different wineries within those regions. They also talk about where to stay, what to eat. Like this could really get you started on any sort of travel. And it could be a cool way to like come up with like a bucket list of regions you'd like to visit. Let's see here. Another fun one that I mentioned. Oh, this is like a book that I feel like not a lot of people know about, but I really enjoyed reading it. It's called God-Forsaken Grapes. It's by Jason Wilson. And he basically takes you on his travels across the world, trying unknown and obscure grapes and kind of giving the story of like, why is this an unknown grape, or how did it survive here? And I just thought it was really well written, and just as somebody who's kind of always interested in trying something new, and that's the thing that I love about wine is you can never try everything. This was really fun to get to kind of like explore with him. And if you like these style of books where it's like kind of traveling, it's not a novel, but it's not a reference book. It's like somewhere in the middle, like you will learn things, but it's also about somebody's just like journey, kind of more journalistic style. You're also going to love Adventures on the Wine Route. This was written by Kermit Lynch. He is a famous wine importer, but this goes on his journey through the French wine countryside. Again, really, really interesting read. And then finally, let's hear what are some other fun books that I can highlight here. You will also get to hear a podcast interview with Natalie McLean later, I think next year. It's in early January. She's written many books. She's written in that style that I talked about, that journalistic travel, but actually her latest book, which is called Wine Witch on Fire, is a memoir. And I think this was really well written, and a lot of things hit home for me. Even though we have two totally different lives, I just connected with a lot of what she was talking about. I think she's very real in what she talks about. Like, she doesn't skirt over anything. So definitely a really fun one to read and a great one to give as a gift for anybody who wants to learn more about women in the wine world. Okay. Like I said, there are about 1,001 books in here. I could tell you about all of them. I mean, you also have Cork Dork. This is my ultimate favorite wine book in the world. It's the thing that got me into wine. If you know anybody who's even slightly interested in the wine world, get them this book. They are going to freaking love it. If you know somebody who's into food pairings, a fun one is called Big Mac in Burgundy. And it's not about cooking the fancy stuff. It's about pairing wine with so many of the foods that we already love, like Big Macs. And of course, we have the good old reference books. There's so many of them, but some of my favorites, Wine Folly is a go-to. And then The Wine Bible by Karen McNeil. There's actually a new version that came out, I want to say the end of last year. So if you know somebody who has the Wine Bible, but maybe would want a more up-to-date version, this is the third version. It has color photos. It's very cool. And she completely updated all of the different sections, and anything that was new, she added it. So very, very cool there. But like I said, I could talk about these books forever. Go check them out in the Wine Guide. Every one of them I would recommend. And they're a great gift too for Secret Santas or gifting at the office. If you know somebody who likes wine, I feel like a book is always a good way to go. Okay, next section is much smaller than our book section. This is the apparel section. And so I got some great deals on everything in the apparel section. How cool is that? So we've got everything from wine apparel in terms of some shirts. You have ones that I've designed myself. I'm actually thinking I might need to get some new ones here, but I have a discount code for you to try them. There's Cork and Fizz, what do I want to say? Cork and Fizz apparel that actually says Cork and Fizz, but there's also some fun wine designs in there. There's also some great stuff from the Wino shop. I've highlighted them before. Desiree, the founder of it, has been on the podcast as well. She has some amazing apparel. Some of my favorites, she has Future of Wine is Female. That is love that shirt. She also does the ones where it's you can see all the different wine regions listed. She has some cool hats too. Lots of really great stuff. And then my wine hat. So if you ever see all the photos of influencers going out wine tasting, you have these super cute hats on and you're oh, where do they find these hats? They get them at My Wine Hat. She has such cool things, and she gave us a 20% off code. So go find that in the gift guide. And a new item to the gift guide this year, wine scarves. So I'm going to talk about this business a little bit more later. They come from a woman named Alicia Myers who paints with wine. And these designs of the scarves are inspired by those wine paintings. And she has them at lots of different sizes. Really cool stuff. Go check those out. All right, let's talk fun and games, because wine does not always have to be so serious. This podcast is sponsored by Repour Wine Savers. Listen, I love wine, but that doesn't mean I want to drink a full bottle every night. You see, it's always a risk opening a bottle knowing I'll only have a glass or two. But now I don't worry about that at all because I have Repour. These little contraptions will keep your open bottles of wine good for up to 3 months by removing oxygen from the bottle using fancy chemistry. And they're so easy to use. I simply open a bottle of wine, cork or screw cap, just like normal, and enjoy my glass or two. Then, when I'm ready to call it a night, I rip the foil off my Repour Wine Saver and place it in the bottle in place of the cork or screw cap, and then stick the bottle in the fridge. Simple as that. Then, whenever I grab another glass from that bottle in the future, I just make sure to put the Repour back on as soon as I'm done pouring. It's that easy. Want to give Repour a try? Head to repour.com, REPOUR.com, and use code Cork and Fizz for 10% off your order. That's Repour, REPOUR.com, and use code Cork and Fizz. No spaces in that, and the and is spelled out. So it's CORKANDFIZZ. Once you have Repour, you'll never have to worry about opening a bottle of wine just for one glass. I mean, heck, now you can try 2 or more wines at the same time and have your own at-home wine tasting. This podcast is sponsored by the Cork Crew Virtual Wine Club. Interested in trying new wines, but not sure where to start? Or maybe you've been listening to this podcast for a while and you love the idea of tasting wine live with me. If that's you, come join my Cork Crew Virtual Wine Club, and you'll get to sip wine with me twice a month while I help you find new favorite wines. The Cork Crew is not your ordinary wine club. This is a community of people who are passionate about exploring new flavors, learning about different wine styles, and having fun along the way. And the best part about this club, purchasing the wine is completely optional. Plus, all events are recorded, and you have access to the full library of recordings as a Cork Crew member, so you can always catch up if you can't make it live. Oh, and did I mention it's virtual, which means you get to do all of this from the comfort of your sofa in your PJs. No need to worry about driving in crappy traffic, finding a designated driver, or spending an arm and a leg on a taxi. Want to give it a try without the commitment? You're in luck. Right now, I'm offering a free class pass to anybody who wants to try out the Cork Crew Virtual Wine Tasting Club. With this pass, you'll be able to join a Cork Crew event of your choosing. No strings attached. I don't need your credit card. I don't need you to sign up for anything. You'll be my guest. Simply head to corkandfizz.com/free class pass to get your class pass and be one step closer to becoming a member of the best wine tasting club around, the Cork Crew. I can't wait to see you there. Now let's get back to the show. A lot of things in here are the same that I had last year because, well, it's not like the biggest section in the world when it comes to wine. One of my favorite blind tasting games. Again, if you know somebody who's wanting to get better at blind tasting, but maybe in a more fun way, there's this game called Somify. Highly recommend. I've played it on double dates and it's been really, really fun. For somebody who's like into board games, but maybe doesn't want to have to like quiz themselves on wine, there's this game called Viticulture. I love playing it. I think it's because I win a lot, to be honest. But it's a strategic board game. So if you know somebody who likes like Settlers of Catan, I'm trying to think of other ones that are like that. But like where you kind of have to, there's a lot of strategy to it. It's easy to figure out, but hard to win. That's kind of how I think about these games. But your goal is basically to build the best winery in Tuscany. And it's a really pretty board game too. Lots of fun to play with friends. A couple new items. Well, I guess these aren't new, but I did get a code for each of these, a discount code. I have a wine murder mystery kit from the Masters of Mystery. So this is a super fun one. It's also a great last minute gift because you can download it all online. So you could just purchase it literally the day before you need to, maybe the morning of, and then just print things out or send it to your recipient via email. And I have a 10% off code for that. And then we also have puzzles, wine-themed puzzles from Water and Wine. I have a 15% off code here. They have different regions. They also have a fun new periodic table of wine puzzle, which I think, even though I'm not the biggest puzzle person, if I was going to like puzzles, it would be a wine-themed puzzle. Okay, the section that grew the most from last year is definitely my food and wine section. So had a lot of fun, including some amazing wineries and amazing food pairings that would go great with wine here. So a couple places I'd love to highlight. One is a local Seattle shop, which actually also does shipping across the US called Bon Chocolat. Rasha, the owner, is absolutely amazing. I have tried, every time I try her chocolate, like I'm somebody who doesn't always believe that chocolate pairs with wine. And then Rasha comes in and gives me like one of her amazing chocolates and says, here, try this with this wine. I did a tasting with her a little while ago. And oh my God, it worked so well. Like I was blown away. So go check out her site. She has lots of different options for the holidays, and we got a 10% off code working with her. Speaking of food pairings, we've also got wine chips on here. These chips, every time I like share them with anybody, they're like, ooh, what are these? And then they try them and they are so good. Even like the weird flavors. Like they had one that was like some sort of meat flavor, but there wasn't actually any meat in it. And I brought it on the Walla Walla trip, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's kind of strange." And then we tried it, and we're like, "Oh, damn, that's like actually really good." So those are a great pairing. Honestly, something that'd be fun to have like on Christmas Eve while you're drinking some wine and just hanging out with family. I feel like that would be like a good just like snack to have around. What else do we highlight? We've got a couple advent calendar options. So Sipwell Wine Co. They are a canned sparkling wine, and she has a fun new advent calendar this year. I know we're a little late on that, but I guarantee even like anybody would be happy to get an advent calendar, even if it's after December 1st. We also have a fun one from Vinebox. They're the ones that do like the little tubes of wine. Great option. They have a 12 or 24 pack. And again, why do we have to only have these in the month of December? I think these would be great post December as well. And then lastly, there's a 12 days of cheese. Because, like, I mean, if you're going to drink that much wine, you better have some cheese with it. And of course, other great wineries. Whether you're looking to buy wine as a gift for family or friends, I know they make a great gift for neighbors as long as you know they drink wine. But I have the Walls wine highlighted on here. They're a great Washington winery. We've also got Pepperbridge and our Fruit Wine Co. If you remember, that was the wine shop that Jackson owns, who also does the Crunchy Red Fruit wine subscription box. Okay, let's get into home and dining. Oh, and for most of those things that I mentioned for the food and wine category, I have discount codes for like 75% of them. So go take a look. Okay, home and dining. A lot of things have stayed the same here just because I think they're all really, really great. Everything from, and I try to get things at different price levels, right? Because you could like ball out and get your wine lover and a wine fridge because, like, heck, why not? Or you could keep it simple and maybe get them a candle that is like made out of a wine bottle. There's also some cool things here. Something a little more unique, like a cork state. It's basically like a wood cutout of whatever state that you guys live in, and then it has spots to put all of the different corks. You could also get them like a collection, like say maybe you get the California, the Washington, and the New York one, so that they can fill in the corks with like each like from wine that is from those states. Hopefully that makes sense. That could be a really fun collection item. Also, some just like really beautiful things, Estelle colored glasses. I know that like in the wine world, we're like, you need to have a clear glass so you can see your wine. But if you just love a pop of color, or if that wine lover you know loves having like a really pretty setup at their table, the color glassware is definitely going to be something they'll love. We're also highlighting another small business here in Seattle with a beautiful charcuterie board set. This comes with even like the little ramekin and then the cheese knives, like everything you need to put like the perfect charcuterie board together. Let's hear what else. Ooh, okay. The last thing I'm going to highlight here. I mean, I've got so many things here, but we're going to go over time. I want to highlight, this is from Amazon, so it's not a small business, I'm sorry, but I freaking love this thing. It is a travel charcuterie board, and shout out to Convino Board on Instagram for showing this to me first. But it's basically, it's a charcuterie board that then has a plastic cover that latches on. Oh my God, taking charcuterie boards over to friends' houses for like wine night is so much easier with this thing. So you know somebody who always brings over a charcuterie board, gift them this little travel charcuterie board so they can keep bringing cheese and meat to you and in a beautiful way. I absolutely love it. So definitely highlight that as well. And now, of course, we got to talk about some stocking stuffers, some little small things to fit into your wine lover's stocking. We got to highlight one of my favorite Repour wine savers. They are like so effective, super affordable, and they fit in the stocking. So I love these. They keep your wine fresh 3+ months after opening it. Like, I have a bottle in the fridge right now. I think it was like 2 months old, and I had a glass last night. It was still absolutely delicious, works perfect. And the nice thing is you don't have to think about it ahead of time. You just open the bottle, maybe have a glass or two, and then you're like, I don't think I'm going to finish this, and I don't think I'm going to finish it tomorrow. Go ahead and grab one of those Repour, take the foil off the bottom, and then stick it in the bottle where the cork would go, and you're good. Just stick it in the fridge, and it'll last for 3 months. I have a 10% off code here for these, and you can buy them in any increment. So the stocking stuffer I'm thinking of is like you can buy it in a box of just 4. But if you're looking to like stock up, you can buy, I think, up to like 40 or 100 at a time just to save yourself the effort. Let's see, what else do we have in our stocking stuffer section? Oh, We have our little small business spotlight, and this is with Wine Wash Co. Erica is the founder of this, and oh my gosh, she is wonderful. The idea for the business came from the idea that she wanted to be able to wash her wine glasses safely in the dishwasher. So she created this little gadget, I guess you could call it, that like hooks onto the side of the dishwasher rack and then hooks to your wine glass. And now you can safely wash your wine glasses in the dishwasher. And she actually goes to like Home Depot and like Lowe's and tries them on all the different dishwashers. Like I love it so much. But along with this little gadget, which is super helpful, she also has so many fun wine related things for the kitchen. She's got some new holiday wine sponges, which would be a great, they literally look like bottles of wine. That's what I mean when I say a wine sponge. And because they are shaped like a wine bottle, they've got that thin part at the top. They're great for washing the wine glasses that can't go in the dishwasher. But she has some regular ones and then some holiday ones. She's also got some biodegradable options, so dishcloths and sponges. And then I love she has these tipsy towels, she calls them, and they're great for drying the wine glasses off after they come out of the dishwasher because we all know we don't want streaks on our wine glasses. But they all say like fun little things. Like the one that I have in the gift guide says champagne wishes and Cabernet dreams. But go check her out. I've got 15% off everything at Wine Wash Co. So go try out her stuff. And Erica's wonderful. Love getting to support her. And you can actually find a lot of her stuff. I would recommend shopping online, but if you're not an online person, she just got her stuff in Total Wine, which is so cool. So you're going to see it popping up more and more. Okay, we're getting to the end, folks. I think we have a couple categories left. Gadgets and accessories is our next one. Of course, I got to highlight the Cork. It's like the one fancy wine gadget I actually use on a regular basis. You can grab a glass of wine out of a bottle without having to take the cork out. And I've heard from people that are like, oh, it only lasts, like the wine after it only lasts like 3 months. I don't agree because I opened up a bottle of Cabernet Franc like 2 months ago, and it had been the last time I drank out of it. I used the Corvin over a year ago, and the wine tasted fine. Now, I will say, we left it at a friend's house, and she said she tasted it the next day, and it was not good. So once you open it, you do need to drink it that night if it's over like a year old. But it tasted great that night when we opened it. So this thing like makes your wine last. Let's see, here are some couple other items here. I also added the Vochill here. Of course, I talk about it all the time. They're often a sponsor of the podcast, but they actually have some new colors available. So the Vochill is basically a device that you can set your wine glass in to keep your wine chilled. This is great if you're a white wine drinker and you typically add ice to your wine, but you don't want to have to water it down. Use a Vochill. They have ones for stemmed glasses or stemless, and I have a 15% off code with them. Yeah. Oh, and another thing I have on here, a wine lover in your life and they feel like they have everything already. Get them a champagne saber and like a bottle of like cheap champagne. Like it doesn't have to be champagne. Like get them a bottle of cheap cava and do like the little combo gift, like a champagne saber and the cava. I sabered sparkling wine for the first time last New Year's. Oh my God, it was so thrilling and so much fun. And it's easier than you think. Get them this little combo, then reach out to me and I will teach you how to saber the wine safely. And it's easier than you think. Like it really, really is. I did it on my first try and I'm not like some amazing expert. And I just taught myself by reading online. So it's really fun. It's a super cool opportunity to get somebody that loves wine, something a little different, something they don't have. And it's like a fun experience. Like imagine just like everybody at the family Christmas, like grabbing a bottle of cava and savoring it. That would be so cool. Okay, last section I have on here is just kind of the other section. So things that didn't quite fit into other things. One of the items is wine check. And it's actually a way to travel with your wine. And the one that they're highlighting right now is one that actually keeps your wine at a good temperature. If you're worried about traveling somewhere where it's warm, this is a great option. They also have an option for just like a regular 12-bottle shipper. This is how I bring wine back whenever I'm like traveling in the US and buying wine because Alaska, if you fly Alaska from any wine region basically on the West Coast, you get to check a box of 12 bottles of wine for free. So it's a great opportunity. This is what I've done when I've gone to Walla Walla, when I went to Santa Barbara. Great opportunity. So wine check, go look at that. So it's a great choice. Also in this section is the wine and cheese tasting party kit. This is a great gift. Somebody reached out to me and said, oh my God, I'm totally going to get this for her and her friends are doing like a my favorite things party. I don't know if you've seen these on Instagram or on TikTok, but it's basically where you and your friends each bring two of like your favorite things. And so they're the same thing. And so she's going to bring two of the wine and cheese tasting party kits. And then you like set it all up and then everybody draws numbers and you go and grab something of somebody's favorite thing. And it's just like a fun way. It's almost like a version of a Secret Santa in order to like get a gift, but you're grabbing like one of somebody's favorite thing and you kind of get to share about that. So I love that she thought this kit would be perfect for that. It's also great if you want to host a wine and cheese tasting party for the holidays. This will help you do that without all of the stress. I've done all of the work for you. And if you know somebody who loves hosting, this could be a cool, fun gift for them. And of course, I included a discount code for you. I'm not going to not do that. Come on. Okay, and then lastly here, I also put this in the other section is another small business highlight. It's at Alicia Meyer's Wine Art. Beyond the scarves, she also does a calendar every year, which has 12 of her beautiful prints. I typically get one every year. And then she also just has beautiful art prints. So if you're looking, Wine Lover has some empty wall space, looking for something to put up. There's so many prints to choose from. And she's also got gift cards and notebooks, so many fun things, great gifts for wine lovers. And yeah, there's a few other things, but you'll see them in there. I've got private tasting vouchers, of course. So if you know somebody who'd like to, doesn't want a thing gift for the holidays, people who are like, I have too much stuff, please don't, like it's just going to be clutter. An experience gift is a great thing to get them and a private wine tasting voucher. And then just like reach out to me and I'll help you pick out the wine to go with it. And you can gift them like a little basket of wine with this experience and be like, listen, I know, I know you don't like things, but this is wine and you're going to drink it. So it's not going to last that long. So that could be a really fun gift. Okay, and like I said, that is not everything in the gift guide. There are so many more things that I did not have time to mention. So if you are interested in getting some fun gifts for wine lovers in your life, or you need to spend some of that holiday cash that you have, go check out the holiday gift guide. It is corkandfizz.com/holiday gift guide. It is totally free. It comes with so many amazing discounts, lots of amazing gifts. Just go check it out. And of course, if you know a wine lover in your life that would enjoy this podcast, please share it with them. You can find your favorite episode, send it their way, or take a screenshot right now and post it on social media. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I release new episodes every Wednesday. Next week's episode, I will be helping you choose the wines to have on your table for your holiday dinner. So no need to stress. I'll be giving you types of wine that I think you should buy, but I'm also going to give you some bottles to go purchase to make this even easier. And of course, I have a guide to go with it. So if you're like, I want to listen to it, Hailey, but I also don't want to like write down everything you're saying, don't worry. There's a guide to go with it with some amazing bottles to go purchase. Thanks again for listening. If you want to learn more about wine, come follow me at Cork and Fizz on Instagram. And if you're interested in exploring new wines and joining an incredible community of wine lovers, be sure to sign up for my virtual tasting club, The Cork Crew. Head to corkandfizz.com/free class pass to come check out a tasting for free. Cheers!